tune that be with all of you. There's no words to express my gratitude to His Grace Ramachandra Prabhuji, Ram Tulsi Prabhu, Gopal Prabhu, Suresh Prabhu, Padmodara Prabhu, all wonderful devotees. They are tirelessly very much active and to develop this congregation. It's not to express my gratitude to all of you. And before we start, I would express my gratitude that you inviting me here and give me an opportunity to purify myself. Not a great speaker, just trying to do some devotional services, but not. But I'm taking this as an opportunity to purify myself. So thank you so much, all the devotees. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we'll start. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Sri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya 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 Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guru Premanande Jaya Vishnu Padmanam Sabhurajikacharya Shtutara Siddha Shrimad Abhijcharanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Shtutara Siddha Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Ananda Gaudi Vaishnavanda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham ki Shri Madhura Vrindavan Dham ki Shri Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki Shri Bhakti Devi Tulasi Maharani ki Nira Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nira Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki The Transcendental Book Distribution ki Harinam Sankirtan ki ISKCON Bargan Gaundi Yatra ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Gaur Premanande All glories to the assembled world. All glories to the assembled world. All glories to the assembled world. All glories to the Guru. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse number 5. Everybody has a copy. This is chapter 12 and verse number 5, and this chapter is titled as Bhakti Yoga. It's the most important topic of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, important chapter. So I'll proceed. Please repeat after me. Klesho adigadarastesham Avyakta sakta chedasam Avyakta hi gadir dukkham Dehabhir avapyade Klesho adigadarastesham Avyakta sakta chedasam Avyakta hi gadir dukkham Dehabhir avapyade Klesho adigadarastesham Avyakta sakta chedasam Avyakta hi gadir dukkham Dehavabhir avapyade. Anybody would like to recite? Maybe one Mataji, one Prabhuji. Avyasasya chedasam Avyakta hi gadir dukkham Deha vittir avipyat vapyade. Klesho adhikatarastesham Avyakta sakta chedasam
gatir dukkham
Deha vapyate. So we go word by word meaning. Klesha, trouble. Adhikataraha, very much. Tesha, of them. Avyakta, to the unmanifested. Asakta, attached. Chetasa, of those whose minds. Avyakta, towards the unmanifested. Right. Certainly. Gatihi, progress. Dukkham, with the trouble. Dehavabdihi, by the embodied. Avapyade, is achieved. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation, please repeat after me. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline, is always difficult for those who are embodied. Purport. Long purport. So I'll read. Please hear this attentively and listen carefully. The group of transcendentalists who follow the path of the inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord are called Jnana Yogis. Persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord, are called Bhakti Yogis. Now, here the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bringing one to the same God, is very troublesome. Whereas the path of Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conceptions fixed in the mind, which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. There is evidence in the Vedic literature that worship may be saguna and nirguna, of the Supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by the material qualities. But the form of the Lord, though represented by the material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil paint, is not actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. A crude example may be given here. We may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letters in those boxes, they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. But any old box or an imitation which we may find somewhere but which is not authorized by the post office will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent, all powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotees just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. So for a devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme through such Vedic literatures as the Upanishad and have to learn the language, understand the non-perceptual feeling and realize all these processes. This is not very easy for a common man. A person in Krishna consciousness engaged in devotional service simply by guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, simply by offering regulative obeisances unto the deity, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, simply by eating the remnants of footsteps offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very easily. There is no doubt that the impersonalists are unnecessarily taking a troublesome path, which the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. But the personalist, without any risk, trouble or difficulty, approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. Similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated there that if one ultimately has to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this surrendering process is called bhakti. But instead take the trouble to understand what is Brahman and what is not Brahman and spend his whole life in that way. The result simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self-realization because there is uncertainty in the ultimate results. A living entity is eternally an individual soul. And if he wants to merge into the spiritual whole, he may accomplish the realization of the eternal and knowledgeable aspects of his original nature. But the blissful portion is not realized. By the grace of some devotee, such a transcendentalist, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. At that time, long practice in impersonalism also become a source of trouble because he cannot give up the idea. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulty with the unmanifest, both at the time of practice and at the time of realization. Every living soul is partially independent, and one should know for certain that this unmanifested realization is against the nature of his spiritual blissful self. One should not take up this process. For every individual living entity, the process of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service, is the best way. One wants to ignore this devotional service, there is the danger of turning to atheism. Thus, the process of centering attention on the unmanifested, the inconceivable, which is beyond the approach of the senses, as already expressed in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by the Lord Krishna. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadadhi Sapadandikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadhuidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Lokanath Swami Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you again. Wonderful association of the devotees. It's very auspicious to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, especially Bhadra Purnima is just over on the Friday. I think many of you must have distributed lots of Bhagavatam sets. This is the Vedic scriptures. This reveals the transcendental form of the Lord. Loving devotional services explains why it is needed like this, because of this is for our benefits. So we all know that we are here in this world for some short period of time. You know, in scripture which is mentioned that the lifespan, anybody knows that the lifespan compared to the Brahma or compared to even demigods in this world? The lifespan of the time that which we have in this world, anybody knows? It says that the lifespan, the life we have on this planet Earth is just like a bubble in the water. I heard this one? The bubble which comes in the water and immediately splash. It breaks. Boom. So compared to the lifespan of the higher beings or higher planetary living entities or Brahma, our lifespan on this material earth is just like a Buddha in the water. It's a bubble in the water. But think about that. This many millions of lifetime after that we are getting this human form of life. Very rare. Very rare. And out of millions of lifetimes that after that we get this. And then we simply waste it. We simply waste it without knowing and not understanding the purpose of the human life. So we know that Arjuna in the battlefield, Arjuna was also in this material conceptions of the life, that killing, and even though all this time Arjuna knew that all Kauravas and all the associates of the Kauravas were doing all these kinds of atrocities and injustice against the Pandavas, even to personally to Arjuna, but still came into the battlefield, then Arjuna could feel that, no, I'm not going to do this. This is, against my, kinsman, my spiritual master. So we were all kind of illusion in this world in so many wrong ideas. We are all illusion, misguided in this world with so many wrong ideas. And we are all misguided, and there are three kinds of problems which comes to us. Anybody knows what are the three kinds of problems comes to us? Adi Devik, Adhyatmik and Adi Bhautik. And what is the most prominent and dominant problem that one can have? Adhyatmik. Why it is Adhyatmik? Always we are within the web of our own network of the problems and we create itself. How many of you don't think with your mind for at least for 5 minutes that I don't want to think anything else in the world? How many of you do that? Anybody? Even for a minute? You tried? Yeah. So we tried. How long you tried?
A couple of weeks.
And then came back after that. The same normal routine.
I just continue right now.
Yes. It's very good. We try to control it. That's the one way of...
When we chant, we try not to pay attention to the mind.
Right. But still, it's very difficult to control.
I haven't found the secret yet.
Yes. So we know that in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is telling this to Krishna, right? Arjuna say, I can control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. What Krishna is replying? Abhyasa yoga yuktena vairagya jana priyate. Abhyasa, by practice that one can do that. So it's very difficult. So when it is so uncontrolled, then it's completely which captures us, entangles us within our mind in such a way that we cannot come out of it. And we may see somebody and say, oh, why didn't that person speak to me? All day he thinks that. All day. Oh, this Mataji told something to me, or why did she says that, did I do something wrong? Did I do this way and did I do that way? Oh, my boss is like that. Oh, my colleague is like that. My wife, my husband, every day, that every moment we have so much of this web of these thoughts within captures our mind in such a way that we cannot even think ourselves. We're always thinking others. Right? How much time we think about ourselves? It's very less compared to this 24 hours. We think about very less. Maybe a minute, maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 13 minutes. That's maximum that we think about us. All the time we're thinking about all these things in this world. And everybody else. Everybody thinking about everybody else, but not us. Oh, this one, how can I do this? So what happens, we are completely captured by these adhyatmic problems. And that is the most problem one is facing, adhyatmic. We create the problem of our own. And then we come to the conclusion, and we create this, and we come to the conclusion that even without any facts, even without proper understanding, and even without any kind of conclusion, we come to our own conclusion that this person is bad. This person is totally bad. This is wrong. This is bad. And this idea is wrong. And this school of thoughts, okay, this is good for me. Because we are actually speculating everything as per our own, this limited, what we are in this world. Like just for an example, a fish in the water. Fish in the water can only do some certain limited things in the water, nothing beyond that. Right? It cannot come and climb on the land. It's only in the water it can, because we serve that in platform. So we are all like that. Our constitution is like that. Some are in intelligence, they can think higher and higher, and some are very low in their consciousness. Some are thinking very low and they think so many things. And that's why we are completely entangled by our senses, mind and intelligence in so many degrees of it. And a person thinks very low, and he acts accordingly. He is so angry, he has lustful, he has grown so much of greed, envy, and this is the lowest of inter-bodily platform. So it goes on like that. So because of that, we create all these things, and we create and invite all the problem to us. We are misguided in this world, and some way or other that we completely fall down into this material world with so much of this, impurities. This is called impurities or the abhidra in the heart. So we have wonderful examples here. Dear devotees, that's why we have this Vedic knowledge. This Bhagavad Gita is the Vedic knowledge part of the Mahabharata, and it's also the summary, the essence of Gita Upanishad, the essence of all the Vedic knowledge, which is right here in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that what is the real science, what is the pure knowledge, what is the transcendental knowledge. So one has to come out from these mundane material concepts of life. And then we have to come to the real platform. This is always mentioned that we have three kinds of bodies. Anybody knows what we have, the three kinds of bodies we have? Three kinds of sharir we have. What is that? Sthula Sharira and Sushma Sharira and Adhyatmik Sharira. Where are we now? Right now, where are we? Gross body and some extent subtle body. And then we are completely entangled with our grooves and subtle, and it's very difficult. That's why we are Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Jananam. Punarapi Jadare, Janani Shayanam. So, Punarapi, we are taking birth because we are completely stuck with our senses and the mind, our Susma Sharir and the Sthula Sharir. We cannot come out of it. Very much entangled with it. The devotees, we have this wonderful opportunity, and this is the only way that we can come out to that, realize our adhyatmic and spiritual, sharir or spiritual body. So then only we can understand this completely. So we all these wonderful opportunities to bring up from our lower platform, from this Sutma Sharir, Sthula Sharir, to bring to that level of spiritual platform, spiritual plane. In that spiritual plane, we can understand all this very wonderfully. So this is where Krishna is instructing to Arjuna that we are always thinking our own bodily platform, and then we are not understanding what is absolute truth. And here in this previous chapter, And because of Arjuna wanted to know, Arjuna wanted to clarify what is this all about. Krishna was showing a beautiful universal form to Arjuna. Arjuna could see everything beyond his sensual mental perceptions. So what Arjuna, how could Arjuna could see that? How could Arjuna see that? Krishna gave that spiritual vision. See, dear devotees, all this wonderful opportunity we have to have this spiritual vision. So when we have this spiritual vision through the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedic literatures, we can attain that spiritual vision that who am I, who are we, what are this part of this world, why are this, why this world, why are taking us a human. And now human form of life, we have this wonderful opportunity to realize this and understand this. By the Sugrati, by the thousands of lifetime, we have piety, we have the credit, pious credit that we have. That's why we have this opportunity even as a human form of life. And then after that, one who is able to come and chant this holy name of Krishna, because of the thousands of lifetime, we had the opportunity to worship the Lord. That's why we are able to come here and hear the Lords of glories of the Krishna. Otherwise, we are not able to do that. There is a beautiful verse in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is explaining this to Arjuna that by the mercy only that we can have this opportunity. So we are all merciful. That's why we can hear the glories of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna, by the mercy, the spiritual vision gave to Arjuna, that Arjuna could see that wonderful truth and wonderful universal form. And this is generally known as the impersonal aspect of the Lord, because Lord is endorsed in everywhere. Lord is there. Lord is pervaded in every aspect of this material or these creations of the Lord. So then Arjuna bewildered. Arjuna bewildered and cannot hold it because of it's very difficult. As a human, Arjuna bewildered and Arjuna couldn't hold it. And think about us. If you are thinking of this material world, this impersonal Brahman, and I'm sitting there somewhere, we will burst out ourselves. We cannot hold it because we are very limited. In all our perception, we are very limited. So Arjuna bewildered, Arjuna frightened, and then Arjuna prayed to Krishna that please show your original form. I would like to see that. Then Krishna showed that the beautiful Shyamasundara form to Arjuna. And Krishna told that this is my original form and you should worship me in this form. Krishna said that one who has unalloyed devotion to me, that he can attain me in this original personal form. So that's where this 12th chapter is coming, which is known as Bhakti Yoga, which is titled as, or in English, it's devotional yoga, devotional practices, right? Bhakti Yoga. So, in this devotional, Krishna is revealing that all wonderful aspects of how one can attain this personal aspect of the Lord, or one can attain the personal association with the Lord, and who is very dear to Krishna. So that's where Arjuna is asking the question in the beginning, first itself. So when Arjuna saw this universal form, Arjuna got a doubt that which form is that perfect? If one worship which form one has to worship, whether it is the universal form or the impersonal form or the personal form of the Supreme Lord. So what Krishna replied? Personal form, which is most perfect. And then we come to this verse of it, and it says that one who goes through this avyakta, it's very clear, avyakta, which is unmanifested form, the manifested form that which we see is completely spiritual, which is Satchit Ananda. But one who goes with this impersonal aspects of the Brahman, right? The Brahman realizes the Brahman form of the Lord is very troublesome. It's very troublesome, and it's very difficult to achieve that the perfection or the results or the success of anybody that will also go for this impersonal aspect of the Lord, worship the impersonal or the Brahman form of the Lord. So it is, and it's very, Srila Prabhupada is very much emphasizing on this purport that yes, the impersonal form of the Lord is very difficult to achieve because of one cannot understand first of all what it is. He is just simply sitting or just seeing some light or just seeing something, some aspect of this impersonal, the form of the Lord, and he is not clear what he is really doing it. And that's where we can see that the so many impersonalists or the Brahmavadis, or generally known as Mayavadis, right? We heard this word, Mayavadis or Brahmavadis. They don't have a very direct perception of the Lord. They are misguided in one way, or many have. Anybody talks to that, they all have different opinions about the Supreme Lord. And that's why we can see that from the time immemorial here, especially when the Vedas started, and when they don't have that the complete understanding, they started to interpret on it. Right? We can see that the Shankara Bhashya or the Bhagavad Sharirika Bhashya, Shankara Bhashya, it all talks about the impersonal aspects of the Lord. They say, Jagat Mithya, Brahman Satya. Only Brahman is Satya, everything else is false. This is the teaching of the schools of Brahmavadis or Mayavadis. Jagat Mithya, everything is Mithya, it's illusion. Now can we say that it's Mithya? We are right here, everything is here. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals that it's not that. It's false, it's temporary, right? It's temporary, it's not false, it's temporary. It's very flickering, it's very temporary, but it is true, it's reality that is there. So that's where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very much revealing, emphasizing to explain this aspect of the personal aspect of the Lord. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested in this universe just to reveal this fact of that one should have this personal form of the Lord in their heart. So how Lord reciprocate when one develops that love for the Lord says, unless we have this personal form of the Lord, one cannot have this relationship. There are 5 kinds of rasa that we can have with the Lord. 5 kinds of relationship we can have with the Lord. Anybody knows what are the 5 kinds of relationship we can have with the Lord? Shantarasa, Dasirasa, Sakirasa, Valsalirasa, and Madhurasa. This impersonal, we cannot have any of this because we don't know what it is. And we do not have that rasa or the relishness that one who worships the Supreme Lord directly in his personal form. There is a beautiful example in Kanchipuram. There is a temple called Varadaraja Temple. How many of you know this? Varadaraja Temple in Kanchipuram. Have you anybody been there? Varadaraja means one who always gives the benedictions, always merciful towards his devotees, always give blessings. So there was a devotee, he was a pujari, his name is Kanchipurna. So Kanchipurna, he has always dedicated such a way that he dedicated to worship the Lord very properly and all the time timely, and he has such a sincere faith towards the Lord, and he worships every day. And he developed such a faith to the Lord to worship in such a form, personal form, beautiful form, nice shringar. Every day morning he comes and beautifully decorate the beautiful deities of the Varadaraja Perumal. And he sees the eyes and the decoration and the hair and the dress and everything so beautifully. In such a way that he was completely immersed in the worship of the Lord. So then now he developed and he started to talk to the Lord. He started to talk to the Lord. And then Lord started to reciprocate and reply to his each and every day he is talking to the Lord in the altar right there. Where the Raja Perumal is talking. And every day, so Lord asked Kanchipurna, what is happened today? What is happening around this town? So Kanchipurna would say everything what is happened, this person was like that, there was some problems and this family had these problems, and he talks directly to the Lord like this. Every day. And Lord wanted to know. Lord wanted to know what is happening around this. Lord no, but Lord is reciprocating because Lord wanted to reciprocate the loving relationship with Krishna. So it goes on like this every day. And this Kanchipurna was the disciple of Ramanujacharya. And then this was going on some time. And then Ramanujacharya one day asked, now Ramanujacharya came to know that Kanchipurna speaks to the Lord directly. And every day he speaks to the Lord. So Ramanujacharya asked Kanchipurna, can you ask your Lord, can you ask to the Lord that when I will get the liberation, when I will reach to the Lord? So then Kanchipurna came and asked and to the Lordships, and my spiritual master, my Gurudev, is have a request, and Gurudev wants to know that when he will attain the abode of your abode. So Lord mentioned that yes, very soon will attain. Very soon will attain. So Kanchipurna now had a doubt whether I will go, whether I will go to the Lord. So yes, my Guru Maharaj goes, but whether I will go, then Kanchipurna asked the Lord, Lord, when will I have the opportunity to come to you, come to your abode? Lord said, you have a long way to go because of You are serving me. You are serving me daily, there is no doubt, I am very pleased with it. But you didn't serve any devotees. You didn't serve any devotees. You don't have any mercy of the devotees. Says, I have the mercy, I have the mercy on you, but you don't have any mercy of the devotees. So you should definitely, unless you have the mercy of the devotees, you cannot attain me. So then Kanchipurna asked the Lord, what should I do? So you should know. Lord said, you should know, you should make a plan how to get the mercy of the devotees. So you know what Kanchipurna did? Kanchipurna, now the time which is not serving the Lord, he went out into the town. Now he pulled out a bullock cart, a small cart that carrying by the people. They pull the cart to carry the people. So he went there and he went to each devotee, each Brahmana's house in front of there, and he was looking at him. And when these Brahmanas are going to come, when the devotees are going to come out, so he goes in front of him and requests them, please come and sit on my this cart. Please come and sit on my cart. And they are, you are a pujari in the temple. Why are you coming and doing this? No, I want to serve you. You come and please sit. So then by the humble request, then these devotees come and then pull that. So for 6 months, this Kanchipurna was doing this, and everybody, that the word spread around the town and said that Kanchipurna is doing this beautiful. And Ramanujacharya also heard this. And then Kanchipurna came back to the temple. And every day that Lord was smiling at him. And now Kanchipurna asked the Lord, is it good enough? Is it good enough? So Lord said, yes, I am pleased. Now you have the mercy, enough mercy of the devotees. So devotee is very important lesson that we should have in our life. Unless we have the mercy of the devotees, we cannot attain Krishna. See, that's a lesson we all, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that. We are all the dasanudas. We are here to serve the devotees of the devotees of the devotees of the Lord, and not directly to the Lordships. Lord mentioned that. I am not seated in Vaikuntha. Naham Dishtanti Vaikunde. Right? I am not seated in Vaikuntha. I am not seated in anywhere that directly worship. But where I am seated? I am seated in the heart of the devotees. I am seated in the heart of devotees. So it's very important that we always see that the devotees are not an ordinary living being in this world, the devotees. Think about that. This Sri Radha Shyam Sundar, Sri Radha Shyam Sundar ji ki jai, Sri Gauranithai ki jai, Sri Panchatattva ki jai, Sri Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So devotees are not ordinary. These are all wonderful arrangements of the Lord, as is mentioned there. Without the mercy of the Lord, nothing happens in the spiritual realm. Nobody can even do anything without the will, without the mercy of the Lord. Then we can understand this, and there are so many opportunities here. In the then what happened? Then Kanchipurna asked Lord, then he is very pleased. So one day, what happens? See how merciful the Lord is with his devotees when one have the loving devotion to the Supreme Lord. So one day there was a heavy rain in the Kanchipurna. It was so much heavy rain. And the Kanchipurna was serving the deity, worshipping the Lord like that way, and he didn't know that it was raining outside. So it was the noon time, the Lord put him rest, and then he came out and saw that there is a big rain out there. He cannot go. Now he has to go to the home and come back, and at the 4 o'clock, Vaigalika Seva is there, and he has to come back and then wake the Lord up and then do the service. So he cannot go, it's heavily raining. And then he was standing there. So all of a sudden an old person came with an umbrella. So this person came with an umbrella and told to Kanchipurna, okay, let me take you to your home. Okay, you are standing, I saw that I'm a mendicant there, and I was outside and I saw you are standing here. So I brought this umbrella for you, and come with me. So this old person that took him to the home, and then he said, okay, now you can go. No, he said, I will wait here. I will wait here till you come back. And he went there almost afternoon, and he took almost 2.5 hours of rest, and he was about to come back to the temple. So this old person was standing there and with this umbrella. And then even he was completely drenching in the rain, but he was very much sure that this Kanchipurna, not have any rain, and he was holding the umbrella for this Kanchipurna. So he came back to the temple Kanchipurna, and then he put the umbrella there, and he just, okay, thank you, and Kanchipurna said thank you to this old person. So when Kanchipurna came inside into the altar, Kanchipurna saw that the lordship Varadaraja is completely wet, completely drenched in the water. So Kanchipurna understood, this is none other than the Lord came to hold this umbrella for me. The devotees, this is the personal loving devotion, how Lord reciprocates to his devotees. This, as is always says, that this Mayavada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavada bhasha sunlo, hoya sarvanash. So sarvanash, because of this is misguided in such a way that we cannot even reach anywhere. We cannot even reach anywhere. It says that there are two kinds of liberations. One can, when you worship the Brahmavad or the Mayavad, two kinds of liberations. One is called the Sayucha Mukti, that one merges into the body of the Lord. And another Mukti is called one merges in the effulgence of the Lord. This is the result of one who practices Brahmavad or Mayavad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the most dangerous is that one who gets the merge with the body of the Lord. Why? Anybody knows why that is dangerous, that one who gets the salvation merged with the body of the Lord? Because of he lost his identity. And then never that there is a time he gets an opportunity to serve the Lord personally. So what is that most, that better thing in this world than to serve the Lord personally? So devotees always remember this, one who has an opportunity to serve the Lordships directly and personally, he is the most fortunate person in this world. So many times we know that the Supreme Lord appears in our home, in our personal life, and in the form of Archa Vigraha. Why Lord coming to us? Nobody knows why Lord is coming to us. So don't think that this is all mundane, okay, some another devotee has a deities at home, so now let me also have a deities at home. Right? It's not that, it's not for fashion, it's not that for, imitating somebody. So this is because of the mercy of the Lord that Lord is manifesting in our life personally to, why? Anybody? To receive the service from the devotees. Lord is so merciful. Lord is known as Bhakta Valsala. Is very dear to his devotees. Even a little fruit, even a little leaf, even a little water, he offers with that love and devotion. Lord is right there in front of. Lord is right there in front to receive that. He says, give me, give me, give me. You know that the pastime, the story of a fruit vendor. The fruit vendor came to the Gokul, and fruit vendor was, just going around. Fruit is there, somebody is there to buy, somebody is there to buy. And then going around and came to the front of Nanda Baba's house. And Krishna heard this. And Krishna now got an opportunity, and Krishna was waiting for this. Because of this fruit vendor, the old lady was a very devotee of the Lord. One who has any way, directly or indirectly, has an opportunity to serve the Lord, dear devotees, that's the mercy of the Lord. Lord is giving that opportunity giving us to serve Him. And Lord wanted to receive that mercy from that devotee. So here the fruit vendor came, and Krishna was looking for this opportunity to reciprocate. Then what happened? Krishna went home and catch hold of whatever the grains he can have. And our Acharyas mentioned that Krishna was holding the entire Govardhan. Krishna was raising the entire Govardhan, but here when Krishna started to grab these grains, and hardly he couldn't hold anything. See, there's this contradiction. Right? So Krishna was holding this entire universe. But here Krishna was just holding some grain and he couldn't even hold it. And everything. And hardly when he came back to the fruit vendor, only few left. Only few left. And he gave it to the fruit vendor. And said, give me fruits. So I am paying you. How many grains? Maybe hardly 5-6 grains. And give me the fruits. So fruit vendor starts to give. He was looking at the grain. These are only few grains. I'm going to give all these fruits, apples, kela, and all these pears, and a full basket full of. And Krishna was now trying to hold everything. Now Krishna couldn't hold these grains, but Krishna now started to hold everything. What does that mean? So this is everything about Krishna is so sweet, so wonderful. And Krishna was trying to hold everything and looking at the basket and give me that. I'm trying to hold. So this fruit vendor gave everything to Krishna. Everything to Krishna. So this is Krishna. Krishna is looking at the love, that ultimate 100% love from each one of us. And each one of us. This is the mercy of Krishna, dear devotees. This is the mercy of the Lord. So if the Lord comes to our life, Lord coming to our life means that the mercy of the Lord is showering to us. Then what we do? What we do? Like somebody comes to our home, right? You invited a guest. So when you invited a guest, the guest came, and now the guest came and you made a seat and you go away. You go away. You don't give any attention. You don't pay any attention. You don't talk to this devotee or any person who comes to the guest. You go away. Then what? How does that devotee feel or that guest feel? Dejected, isn't it? So, but even though we do all these things to the Lord, right? Sometimes we say, oh, today I don't give any food. Today I won't offer anything. I'm so tired. Right? Yesterday I chanted 16 rounds. Now I committed 8 rounds, but yesterday I chanted 16 rounds. I won't chant today. I won't chant today because I chanted yesterday, right? So sometimes Krishna is so feeling very hungry. You know that? Every day we say that Krishna, that we will give you this on this time. Think about that, you are hungry. 1 o'clock, you didn't have any food. 2 o'clock, you don't get any food. Now, you're just assume about your personal situation. You are waiting for your lunch, a big meal, okay? 2:30 you don't have. How do you feel? You are angry, right? You get all this frustration, you get angry, and anything comes in front of you, go away. Just kind of attitude. No, I don't want to hear anything. Because of now you are blind. Because of the hunger, right? Because of that makes you blind. But think about that, the Krishna is a person right there in our home. And we say, oh Krishna, I'll give you later. Today, and I saw this one devotee. Devotee wanted to go somewhere, another place. So what he gave, every day they offer, and this day, okay, they have some picnic or some outing, some 2 days, 3 days, he has to go. So he went into the Patel shop, he got this, the biscuit, the Parle-G biscuit. So he bought this Parle-G biscuit, and he told Krishna, you like Parle-G, right? Have it. For next 3 days, Parle-G biscuit for Krishna. So this is what we do with Krishna. One way or other. But Krishna is still merciful. Krishna is so merciful in such a way that he reciprocates, and even little that love or that that which we offer to Krishna, Krishna receives very. And in order to receive this love from all of us, Krishna manifesting in his personal. So this cannot have into the impersonal aspect. So what they do, impersonalists, what they do? They just read something, right? Vedanta Sutra or some kind of scripture, and they keep reading. And this is what is happened with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You know that the story of pastimes with the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Nobody knows. I think many of you know this. How Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya completely transformed, was a Mayavadi, was a Brahmavadi. And it's narrated beautiful in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. How many of you have Chaitanya Charitamrita? How many of you have? Very few. Devotee, you should have. This is the one book you should have, and this is the one book you should read in every day. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And you may have it in the store. Start to read. You will realize and you will see that the person, how this transcendental truth, this principle, the devotional practices, and how the devotees, practice in such a devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri after sannyas. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just having that ecstasy and just fainted out unconscious and fall down in the Jagannath Puri temple. And then the guard was there, and guard was trying to beat because of so that. So Sagajiya, some person came and doing something. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was immediately stopped and said, no, don't do. This is a great sannyasi. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fall down unconsciously like that, and when Saram Bhattacharya was seeing this, Saram Bhattacharya was a great scholar that time. And he is considered as a Jagat Guru by that time. Jagat Guru means, this on that period of time, this Mayavad, Brahmavada was the prominent in this India. Prominent. If somebody speaks very nicely and so many things, he is considered as the greatest of all. So here, Saram Bhattacharya was seeing this and looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He saw that this is not an ordinary person. Seeing the effulgence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Saram Bhattacharya just immediately realized it's not an ordinary person, so stopped his cart to, do anything. Then somehow that's the time that Bhoga to be offered to Krishna, and they were coming, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested some other devotees to carry Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his Saram Bhattacharya's house. So when Saram Bhattacharya looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and completely unconscious, and there is no movement of the belly or anything when there is, and then he just took a little cotton and put it in the front of the nose and see that there is little movement of it. So Saram Bhattacharya realized that this is Adhiruda Bhav. Adhiruda Bhav, there is different ecstasy that one can develop when we worship the Supreme Lord. We know that the devotees are there when they worship the Supreme Lord, and that by the devotion, that the deep devotion one develops, and then he has these various symptoms of this. This is called Ashtaswatika Vigar. In the Ashtaswatika Vigar, there is a stage called Sudipta. There is a stage called Deepta, Udipta, Sudipta, and there are different stages like this. And one who has these 8 kinds of Vikaras, and beyond that, that's called Sudipta, the Vikara, the Ashtaswati Vikara. Then what happened when Chamuttacharya looked at it, and this is Atiruda Bhav, just beyond that. Bhav is there and Mahabhav is there, and it goes beyond, even Adhiruda Bhav. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, only this kind of Bhav can, only that not ordinary human being cannot have this. Only those who are beyond this world can have this great Bhav. Then later realized this, and then Gopinath Acharya was there. And then when Gopinath Acharya was there, and then he started to speak to Saram Bhattacharya, this is the Supreme Lord Personality himself. He's the Lord himself. He came, but Saram Bhattacharya never agreed to that. He said, how is it possible? Ordinary man cannot have God. Ordinary man cannot be a God. And then there is a big, I'm just shortening it, I think the time is up. So it's shortening up. So then what happened, there's a big argument and all these things happened. And then Saram Bhattacharya then thought that, and then came to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is from the Bharati, received the initiation from the Keshava, Bharati, and then it's a lower class of this sannyasa stage and all. Then Saram Bhattacharya thought that I would teach this Vedanta, this Brahman concept, this impersonal aspect to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much, very humble and respecting Saram Bhattacharya because he's a very great scholar. And then what happened? Saram Bhattacharya started to teach about this Vedanta Sutra, the concepts of all these melodies like this and all interpretation to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 7 days continuously. 7 days continuously. On the 8th day, Saram Bhattacharya mentioned to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are you understanding what I am saying? You are not saying anything. I am teaching, I am telling all this transcendental truth to you, and you are not saying, and you are not even saying yes or no. So, Saram Bhattacharya requested, are you understanding what I am saying? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, very humbly said, yes, I am understanding the Vedanta Sutra, which is revealed by Srila Vyasadeva, but I am not understanding your interpretations of it. I am not understanding your interpretation because of everything is directly mentioned here, the Supreme Lord qualities and Supreme Lord's forms and everything. But your interpreting is that there is no form for the Lord. There is no quality for the Lord. Everything is Brahman and is Brahman and the forms which come from the Brahman, but this is all ordinary material mundane thing, and your interpretation is like this. Then what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to reveal this wonderful explanation of this all Vedanta Sutra. There is a verse called Atmaram verse. Have you heard about this Atmaram verse? Atmaram. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to recite this Atmaram verse, and then Saram Bhattacharya could understand that this is not an ordinary person. when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned that, okay, I will explain this Atmaram verse, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then described this Atmaram verse in 18 varieties of words. 18 varieties of words. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained about this Atmaram verse. Sarva Bhattacharya stuck with wonder. And nobody else could see, nobody else could say this beyond. And even the Sarva Bhattacharya could explain only in the 9 ways. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this in an 18 different other types of it. Then what happens? Sarva Bhattacharya stuck with wonder. And then realized that this is an ordinary person. And then what Sarva Bhattacharya did? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya now started to hear from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Mahashaya, can you explain all this to me? I was completely misguided by this impersonal theory and impersonal teachings and by the Shankaracharya. But can you teach me? Can you explain to me? Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to unwind everything, right? A person is completely stuck with all this. It's very difficult to make him understand, right? And you must have that experiences, right? You must have that experience. Very difficult a person is completely stuck with some kind of ideology. It's very difficult. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to reveal this, the transcendental truth about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has a beautiful form. He is the Supreme Lord. He has this wonderful Shyamsundara form. And He is the source of all the sources. He is the cause of all the causes, and everything manifests according to His will. And this is the direct perception, there are understanding. And it's very simply He explained about it. And Sarva Bhattacharya could understand all this very wonderfully. Then what happened? Sarva Bhattacharya completely surrendered and fall at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then mentioned that. And this time Gopinath Acharya was mentioning that he is the personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now here Sarva Bhattacharya could completely surrender unto Krishna and said, yes, you are the Supreme Lord. I'm surrendering unto you. Now Sarva Bhattacharya now started to reveal that. And he started to compile the verses that you are the Supreme Lord. And started to, fully, completely surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and started to serve. And there is a verse is actually mentioned that what is the importance of a bhakti. There is a verse in Srimad Bhagavad which mentioned that Muktipad. So Sarva Bhattacharya changed that. Instead of Muktipad, he changed that to Bhaktipad. When Muktipad, he said, why are you changing this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Sarva Bhattacharya. Sarva Bhattacharya mentioned that, yes, Mukti is a liberation, see, everybody can have, and then one can merge and one can get it. But see the Bhakti. Bhakti Pada means Krishna is also Bhakti Pada because he only can give that Bhakti. When one gets the Bhakti, he gets the direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was a Mayavati, an impersonalist. Now he completely transforms to a pure devotee of the Lord. So dear devotees, this is the essence of that one who has this opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord, one who has the opportunity to associate with the devotees, one who has the opportunity to hear and chant the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This bhakti, this loving devotional, this bhakti, the Sevanam or Navida Bhakti, is the greatest, most fortunate person in this world because of why? Why? He has the mercy of the Lord. Unless and until we have the mercy of the Lord, one cannot have it. So please take this opportunity. We have beautiful, wonderful temple, wonderful devotees. They are all, this is also again, the devotees, that Krishna is sending these devotees to us for our benefit. And this is our, duty that take up this and spread it to others. And as much as you serve, as long as you are in the human form in these duties, and this is the perfection that we can have. Otherwise, we are just simply wasting this life. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that one who does not hear, one who does not chant the holy name, one who does not associate with the devotees, one who does not take the tulasi leaves, one who does not consume the prasadam which is offered to the Lord, he is, even though he is living, he is dead. He is like a dead body in this world. And he is missing and he is losing all the opportunity one can have. And Lord is right there in front of us, but we minimize, we underestimate. But all we need to do is actually that whatever the opportunities we have to serve the devotees, to serve Krishna, chant the holy name, as long as we have life. And Krishna said what? I would personally come at the time of death to take him back with me. he would personally come, as Krishna personally comes to his devotees. Okay? So I will stop here with this note. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to discuss some topic, and if anything I spoke, this is mercy of my Guru and His Holiness Loknath Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. If I misspoken anything or inappropriate anything, that's purely my mistake or my fault. So please forgive me for that, and thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to be with you, to associate with you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
If anyone has any question, you can see him directly, because right now the kids are here.